Once upon a time, in the shimmering green waters of the River Giggledoo, there lived a big, silly crocodile named Crunchy. Crunchy wasn't like other crocodiles. He had a peculiar habit of wearing a hat, a bright, striped sunhat that he found floating on a particularly sunny day. The hat made him feel dapper, and with it on, he couldn't help but perform silly antics that made the other animals laugh. Crunchy loved to sing, dance, and play pranks on his friends. He wiggled his tail in such a funny way that made the fish giggle, and the frogs croak in delight. But one day, a grumpy stork named Mr. Beakly, who lived by the riverbank, had enough of Crunchy's silliness. "This is a river, not a circus, Crunchy," Mr. Beakly squawked as he fluffed his feathers. "You should act like a proper crocodile." The other animals were quite fond of Crunchy's antics, though, and didn't want him to change. There was Flippy the fish, who swam circles of joy whenever she saw him, and Hoots the wise old owl, who came up with a plan to teach Mr. Beakly a lesson. One starlit night, Hoots gathered the animals for a meeting. "If we can show Mr. Beakly why we love Crunchy's silliness, maybe he'll understand," said Hoots, his eyes twinkling with wisdom. The next day, just as the golden sun peeked over the horizon, Crunchy started his performance. He flopped on his back, spinning around with his hat perched just so on his snout. Hoots gave the signal, and all the animals joined in. Flippy did her most amazing underwater ballet, shimmering with bubbles, while the frogs tapped their feet in rhythm. Even the stork couldn't help but watch, albeit reluctantly. As the performance went on, something surprising happened. A smile started to creep across Mr. Beakly's usually stern face. He found himself tapping his foot to the beat. Finally, the animals stopped, and with a little bow, Crunchy said, "You see, Mr. Beakly, being silly brings us joy. The river is happier when we laugh and play." Mr. Beakly paused for a moment, then nodded. "I suppose a bit of laughter is good for the soul," he admitted, chuckling softly. "But let's not forget how to fish as well." The animals all cheered, and Crunchy wiggled happily in his striped hat. From that day on, the River Giggledoo was known for its laughter as much as its shimmering waters.